I will tell you why in this video and if Guerrilla Games could ever do it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below and don't forget to hit that like button. I already talked about some new features that a ton of people want in Horizon Zero Dawn, like New Game Plus, being able to switch camera angles, but one feature that is also noted a lot is co-op. Being able to hunt on these amazing robot dinos together. Of course, totally different than the New Game Plus, to switch camera angles. Of course, way more complicated to put in, but yeah, it would be super awesome, especially since I'm a multiplayer games fan myself and Monster Hunter in particular. So the idea of creating your own character in the Horizon Zero Dawn world, joining up with friends to kill the many different machines would be a dream come true. Think of this as the sort of Destiny type of game, but in the Horizon Zero Dawn world, that you meet up with other players in Meridian, choose a hunting quest and then go out and try to take down this monster together. Yes, it does sound a lot like Monster Hunter, but then on the PS4, so with the amazing graphics from Horizon Zero Dawn and versus robot dinos that require different tactics than the monsters we see in Capcom's hunting game. Like being able to pick up the disc launcher from a Thunderjaw, which is of course not possible versus real animals, or shoot off the machine's machine gun so that the big machine can't use that anymore. There is so much possible. In an interview with Game Informer well before the game was out, the game director Matthijs de Jonge noted that Guerrilla Games also called the game internally a Western Monster Hunter sometimes, because of the many similarities. One of course being the realistic enemies. They really feel like animals, the machines in Horizon Zero Dawn. They are alive. When they, for example, are hurt or almost dead, they communicate that in natural ways. Or when they just walk around and do their normal life. This is the same in Monster Hunter and really one of the strengths of both series. Another comparison is the gameplay. While Horizon Zero Dawn is way more fluid and Monster Hunter can feel a little more grounded and slower, knowing when to roll away because the enemy communicates that is the same in both games. As someone that played Monster Hunter games for hundreds of hours, it really felt like I had an edge in the combat and could easily take on the enemies as a result of that. Some people say that Horizon Zero Dawn would not work as a multiplayer title. I see that a lot in the comments because of the slow motion function in the game. I can see why this is, since you can't have one player slow down the time while the other players are still fighting in real time. On the other hand, a ton of games have dealt with this problem in their multiplayer components. Games like Red Dead Redemption on PS3 and Xbox 360 for example. That game also had slow motion called Deadeye in the single player, but this ability did not slow down the time in the multiplayer. It instead painted the enemies. So Guerrilla Games will be capable of doing this as well. Yes, the fight will be harder because you need to be more skilled to hit the weak points because you can't slow down the time, but on the other hand you have friends that can help you. Wouldn't it be cool if you could only carry 2 weapons, so that you really have one guy in the team that has the rope caster to make sure that the enemy is stuck, while the other 3 can prepare arrows and shoot them at the weak points of the enemies when the time comes. Or that you can yell, "Now!" and then you all shoot your freezing arrows to make sure the enemy becomes frozen, to then follow up with a blast link to finish him off. Or that one guy has the tripwire, so he plays down the trap, and then the other players will have to try and lure it in, and then say, "All stand near to me," so the enemy will engage. Yes, we got him. Stuff like that would be amazing. I kinda miss a Monster Hunter type of game on the PlayStation 4. While there are rumors of one coming to the platform, I think a Horizon Zero Dawn Monster Hunter type game would also fit my fantasy. I just don't see Guerrilla Games do it, sadly, because they are so attached to the story and to Aloy. Things that don't really work well in a multiplayer game. The story of Horizon Zero Dawn and how the world came to be is super interesting, but you can't communicate that well when there are 2 friends just joking through their headset. And you also, when you're playing a multiplayer game, don't want to get interrupted by the story. Look at Destiny and the unskippable cutscenes that were first present in the many story missions. That really sucks because you were just like, okay, I want to shoot, I want to play with my friend, I don't care about this story right now. Also the fact that you cannot have a strong lead character like Aloy is right now. It will not work in a multiplayer only game. It doesn't make sense if everyone is running around as Aloy as well. So you would lose the sense of a mascot that Aloy is right now. I think that Guerrilla Games is too much attached to this to make Horizon Zero Dawn into a multiplayer game. On the other hand, the story of the world is now told. And live multiplayer games like Destiny and The Division are extremely successful. And yeah, like I said, Horizon Zero Dawn makes for a perfect multiplayer game. I'm fine though with Guerrilla Games keeping Horizon Zero Dawn single player only, but I can't help to think of the multiplayer mode that let me hunt together with my friends. That said though, it's not unheard of to have single player focused games like Uncharted and Tomb Raider for example, that also have multiplayer or co-op components. And I think that this is the highest chance that we have at being able to play Horizon Zero Dawn with other players. Uncharted 4 has an incredible single player campaign where Drake is still the mascot, but people can also just pick a character and have fun in the multiplayer. For Horizon Zero Dawn, a co-op arena would make sense, so just a separate game mode that you can play together while there is still this single player adventure, something like that. Maybe for the next game. I mean, Uncharted didn't start out with a multiplayer either. What do you think about the Horizon Zero Dawn multiplayer potential? I'm curious, let me know in the comments down below. Check out the Horizon Zero Dawn arena feature